In the heart of the village of Uzama, where the sun rose golden over the savannah and the baobab trees stood like ancient guardians, there lived a young girl named Ayo. Ayo was the daughter of Baba Ife, the village drummer. Baba Ife was a humble man, known for his skill with the talking drum, which he played at every ceremony, weddings, funerals, and festivals. His drumming was said to carry the voices of the ancestors, and his rhythms could make the earth itself dance. But Ayo was ashamed of her father. She hated the way the other children teased her, calling her drummer's daughter as if it were a curse. She hated the smell of the animal skin stretched over the drum, the way her father's hands were always stained with dye from the wood. Most of all, she hated the poverty, the small mud hut they lived in, the patches on her clothes, the meager meals of yam and cassava. Ayo dreamed of a different life. Her aunt, Iya Adeswa, lived in the city of Ibadan. She was a wealthy merchant who traded in fine fabrics and gold jewelry. Ayo had seen her aunt only once, when Iya Adeswa visited the village in a flowing lace dress, her wrists heavy with bangles. Ayo had been mesmerized by her aunt's elegance and the way everyone in the village bowed to her. From that day on, Ayo vowed to leave Uzama and live with her aunt in the city. One evening, after a particularly humiliating day at the village square, Ayo confronted her father. "Why must you be a drummer?" she cried. "Why can't you be someone important like Iya Adeswa? I hate this life. I hate being poor." Baba Ife looked at his daughter with sad eyes. "Ayo," he said gently, "this drum is not just an instrument. It carries the stories of our people, the wisdom of our ancestors. It is a gift, not a curse." But Ayo would not listen. The next morning, she packed her few belongings into a cloth bundle and set off for Ibadan. She did not say goodbye to her father. When Ayo arrived in Ibadan, she was overwhelmed by the noise and chaos. The streets were crowded with traders, beggars, and cars, honking endlessly. Her aunt's house was a grand mansion with tall gates and marble floors. Iya Adeswa welcomed Ayo with open arms, promising her a life of luxury. At first, Ayo was enchanted. She wore beautiful clothes, ate rich food, and slept on a soft bed. But soon, she began to notice things that troubled her. Iya Adeswa's wealth came from exploiting the poor. She bought goods from desperate farmers at unfair prices and sold them for huge profit. She bribed officials to silence anyone who opposed her. Ayo tried to ignore these things, telling herself that this was the price of success. One day, Iya Adeswa took Ayo to a meeting with a group of powerful merchants. They were planning to take over the land in Uzama, where Ayo's father lived. "The villagers are simple fools," Iya Adeswa said with a laugh. "They will sell their land for a few coins, and we will build factories there." Ayo's heart sank. She thought of her father, of the baobab trees, of the drum that carried the voices of the ancestors. She wanted to speak up, but she was afraid. What if her aunt sent her back to the village? What if she lost everything she had gained? That night, Ayo had a dream. She was standing in the village square, surrounded by the people of Uzama. Her father was playing the talking drum, and its rhythms echoed like thunder. Suddenly, the drum began to speak. "Ayo," he said, "the truth cannot be silenced. The ancestors are watching." Ayo woke up in a cold sweat. She knew what she had to do. The next morning, she stole into her aunt's office and found the documents detailing the plan to take over Uzama. She took them and fled the house, running all the way to the bus station. She did not stop until she reached Uzama. When Ayo arrived in the village, she found her father sitting under the baobab tree, his drum resting beside him. He looked older, his face lined with worry. "Ayo," he said, his voice trembling, "you have come home." Ayo fell to her knees, tears streaming down her face. "Baba, I was wrong. I was blind. I thought wealth and status were everything, but I see now that they mean nothing without truth and honor." She handed him the documents and told him everything. Baba Ife's eyes filled with tears. You have done well, my daughter, he said. The drum has spoken through you. Baba Ife called the villagers to the square. He played the talking drum, its rhythms summoning everyone. And when the people had gathered, Ayo stood before them and revealed Iya Adeswa's plan. The villagers were outraged, but also grateful. You have saved us, they said to Ayo. You are truly your father's daughter. Iya Adeswa arrived in Uzama a few days later, expecting to finalize her deal, but she was met with resistance. The villagers, united by Ayo's courage, refused to sell their land. Iya Adeswa tried to bribe and threaten them, but it was no use. In the end, she left in disgrace. Ayo stayed in Uzama, helping her father with his drumming and learning the ways of the village. She no longer felt ashamed of her roots. Instead, she wore her title, Drummer's Daughter, with pride. She realized that true wealth was not in gold or fine clothes, but in the love of family, the respect of the community, and the wisdom of the ancestors. And so, the drum of truth continued to beat in Uzama, its rhythms reminding everyone that no matter how far they wandered, they could always find their way home.